Hi, guys. Welcome to day two. Hopefully, you're not going completely stir crazy at home. I thought I would put together a little video just for some normalcy for those that want it, a little of our daily routine. By the looks of things, we might be in for a long stretch of this. So we'll figure out what class is going to look like, later on this week or next week. Some people sent in a thing about like Google Classroom, which might be the way to go. So we'll play around with that. Today we're just going to do a little. I'll get you your phonology because I'm sure some of you have really been craving this, um, and I'll show you a couple things. So we'll start. Just for those that want your pun of the day. Boom. All right. So we'll come over here. Let's do a little phonology. I give you two today, just because. Just because. So let us begin today with a little phonology. Today, for phonology, we'll start with two. Actually, we have two different birds that are both migratory birds that are both moving either on. One of them is leaving us this time of year, and one of them is just joining us this time of year. So we'll start with the junco, which are small little birds, kind of sparrow-sized birds that have spent the winter here. They came down from the tundra last fall, and they've hung around Little Falls for most of the winter. And about this time of year is when they start migrating back up. This is actually a dark-eyed junco and pretty easy to identify, especially the males, because they are basically a small black bird with a white belly. Since they do live up in the tundra, they spend most of their time where? Correct. Yes, on the ground. So the ones you see here are on the ground, but you notice when they move around, they do a lot of hopping. There's our 10 o'clock bird. Hopefully that audio played up, or that's going to be really awkward me just standing there. But juncos on the ground do a lot of hopping because they have, correct, a long back toe, which indicates they are, yes, a perching bird. Juncos probably, even though they will go in trees, they like to hang out on the ground. They spend a lot of time under your feeder. They do kind of a cool little technique where they jump back and forth really quick, and it stirs up old seeds on the ground, things like that. So juncos on their way out, but a really bizarre little bird just on its way in. I don't know if you can see that very well. Is the American woodcock. There he is. Now, woodcock, for those of you that grouse hunt, you're probably familiar with woodcock because they are an upland game bird. But they are migratory, which means they left us in the fall. And the main reason for that deals with their food. I mean, if you look at the beak of a woodcock, and woodcock are a smallish bird. Without their beak, they're probably this big, and they've got a big, long beak. And what do you suppose they feed on with that big, long beak? Anyone? No. No. Correct. Yes, they feed on worms. So they are a probing bird that feeds on worms, which is why they have to leave in the fall because obviously it'd be hard to get a lot of worms this time of year. Now, if you ever get a woodcock, maybe if you hunt for woodcock, if you feel their beak, it's very soft. It's flexible. So it's not like a sharp, pointy beak. It's a flexible beak, so they can probe in the mud, grab night crawlers, and pull them out. Which is also why if you hunt for woodcock, which a lot of people do, they're not a great tasting bird. The breast is only about this big anyway, and because they eat a lot of worms, it's very dark meat. It's very muddy. But if you like duck, you might enjoy woodcock too. Now, woodcock are coming back here. They tend to hang out in damp areas. You can find them actually if you look in muddy spots. You can see where they have probed. So they'll take their beak and poke through in the mud. So like on logging trails or muddy areas, sometimes it looks like somebody took a pencil and just poked a whole bunch of holes in the mud. But that's actually the woodcock. This time of year though is when they're awesome to watch because they're in the middle of, correct, mating season. Now, woodcock are nocturnal for the most part, so they tend to do this. And if you're around like right at sunrise or right at sunset is where you can observe this. But they do really an interesting mating routine, and it's the males come out into open areas, typically like an open field or a meadow, place like that, and they go through this routine trying to attract the female, and they do this thing called painting, which is the noise they make. Which they have this really nasally. It's like meh, meh, meh. We'll probably get the so we can find it on the bird app. It might sound better. But they do that for a while, and they'll paint one way, then they'll flip around 90 degrees and paint that way for a while. Eventually, he takes off, and they fly up super high, and their wing tips, their primary tips, are really sharp and pointed, and he'll spread them out like this, and then he'll just start spiraling down. And as he spirals, it makes this whistling sound. So you get this, and then they land, and then you hear him, meh, meh, and he's just hoping to attract a female to that call. So let's take out the app here. So here's the paint. And then the winnowing is so that's as they're spiraling around. You get the idea. So bam, that's 2 birds that you can either get out and look to say hello to or say goodbye to as the juncos are leaving us and the woodcock are just coming back. A couple things I wanted to show you real quick. So let's see if this works now. How do I get out of this? Maybe not. I was trying to figure out a way that I could toggle back to where I could show you my computer screen, and there should be a little button over here, but I'm not seeing it, so I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to figure it out. So unless I can figure that out soon, I will just end this here, and then maybe I'll make another one and send that out later. But for now, that's your Phenology for today. Hopefully you are finding ways to spend your time. I know it's going to be long. It's going to be somewhat boring. There's only so much TikToking a person can do all day. Hopefully you can find some good on Netflix. Otherwise, obviously we're here all day. If you have questions, send an email. If like the phone lines are open. The phone to the school is open, so you can call. I don't even know what my phone number is though, so that's not very helpful. So if you ever do have any specific questions, my number is 616-4242. So you can call. Otherwise, have a great day, and I will touch base with you tomorrow or somewhere down the road. Bye.